You're listening to the podcast for small business owners, entrepreneurs, and founders who are tired of the client hustle. We believe sustainable business isn't about chasing new leads, it's about keeping the great clients you already have. Let's dive in. I have my hat on, even though it's not really a hat day. My hair's not done, but just make sure you recognize me. I've had so many people when I get on calls and they're like, "Where's your hat?" I'm like, "I don't wear it every day, but this is a sign of good branding where people start to associate something with me to make them remember me. So it's working. So I'm going to wear it as often as I can. If we haven't met yet, my name's Sam. I work with small business owners, founders, entrepreneurs, local service providers where they are already really, really good at getting clients. For some reason, the clients are leaving faster than they could. So we work with business owners that are good at getting clients, but want to learn how to keep them longer because when you can learn to actually double your revenue without getting new clients, that's when a whole new world opens up for you. So I titled this video, "Where Are the Cool Kids Hanging Out?" And I have a marketing background, advertising background, and a relational background. Whenever I'm talking to potential businesses, I say, we're not a marketing company and we're not. If you need somebody that does straight up marketing, I can make connections for you. But what I do have is enough information and enough research and enough real life examples of things that have worked and that don't work, and I can give some pretty good feedback. One of the things that I talk to my clients about a lot, and you hear this all the time on different trainings when people are trying to teach you how to get new clients, which is what most of the marketing world does right now. It's acquisition. I love Alex Hormozy. His company name is acquisition.com, right? And so it's all about acquisition. And to have a business, you have to do that. But if you want to have a sustainable business and get off that hamster wheel of going all the time where you have some peace built in, then you're going to have to learn to keep your best clients longer. And that's where we come in. But what I hear people saying is post on social media where your ideal clients hang out. So if you're doing a certain kind of business, LinkedIn might be better, or TikTok or Instagram or whatever it is. But what about businesses like me that we recognize that our ideal clients aren't on social media as much as other industries? And so, what I've been doing and testing so far this year, and it's already proven to work, is I've made my happy hiney get out in the world and go be where people are. Go to networking events, just business events, events with just women that are my age doing fun things where I'm getting to know people and to connect. One of the guys I've been following online for the last few months is Caleb Ralston. And he worked for Gary Vee and Alex Hormozy. And one of the most important things that I've recognized from watching and following Caleb is he says when he goes through your brand identity, to determine, like, people think they have to create social media to be in business. But you know what? There's a lot of really big companies that you never see on social media because that's not where their ideal client hangs out. So as you're starting a business, as you're growing a business, start to really think about, are you creating social media and doing a weekly email and it's just irritating people? If so, maybe figure out a better way to connect with your ideal clients. So I have been a little bit loud recently about not wanting to be part of the noise. I want to share things that are going to add value and help my ideal clients and just the world in general be able to have a better business and a better life. Because if you have a great business, but your life sucks, why? What? Let's not do that. Mm. So start to think about, are you creating social media content because you truly need to, or or Could it be a diversion and it's a busy work kind of task that you feel like you're doing so that you're doing something and you're busy, but busy is not always productive and busy does not always lead to success. So are you doing the social media stuff instead of what you know you really need to do to grow your business? And I had a coach I've been working with for a couple of years. And to be honest, I've been a little bit standoffish from what he's been teaching the last few months because I've seen some things that they don't resonate with me. But we're still connected. And he's rolling out something right now. I actually went through the process and he's put together a program where it helps you build out your identity of who you want to be, and then you build your business around that. And I went through it this weekend and it nailed me. The results nailed me because what it said was, and so for those of you that don't know, I have a couple of different businesses and a passion project that I run, and then also my husband's business and all my clients I have to help. So I'm always doing a lot of things. I'm going to read, so I pulled it up on the screen, but the results of my identity where I have been, it says I'm the controlled firefighter. How it shows up. You stay in the admin and troubleshooting weeds because it feels safe. If you're fixing a client's technical issue or managing a team's micro task, you feel productive without having to face the vulnerability of making my outreach calls every day or going in person. That's so true, right? And so is social media that thing for you? I have actively stopped creating as much social media for our company where I'm going live more consistently and I'm doing these kinds of things in the podcast to where I'm able to share a value, but I'm not just making more noise that goes out there. And so then the rest of the thing, the person that I want to be, my freedom identity, what it wants is it wants a life of peace, intentionality, and gratitude. It wants to wake up without an alarm, sit on the porch with God, and then spend a few focused hours on high impact relationship building and legacy creation. That's what most of us want, I think. And whether it's sitting on a porch or connecting to God, maybe you change the locations and the connections, but most of us truly want to create something that is a legacy where we're creating something that lasts beyond us, that people will know us for our hats or for whatever it is. And for me, it happens to be gratitude and relationships. So don't get so busy in the behind the scenes admin things or the things that you know, the social media or the things that you're doing to avoid doing the thing that you know will grow your business. Also, today, before I forget, put the book right here. Today is Coach Dale's book launch. Oh my gosh, it is today. And we helped put this thing together. Let me just tell you, Dale did like 90% of it, but the other 10% we did was helping with the cover. He had a vision for this cover. And when we first started with it, I'll tell you, I just sent him an email without it being copied to the rest of the team. And I said, I hate it. I couldn't see where he was going, but it totally makes sense to me now. So you have your faith in your business and there's a disconnect. And so it's a puzzle that can be put back together. And so there is power in aligning your faith and business. I'll put a link around this video if you want to check it out. He's got launch day pricing right now. And I was telling some friends that it feels like this is the closest thing I would know to being a midwife because the mama has the baby, but the midwife certainly has to help. And so we helped birth this baby. And I'm just so proud of him. I'm proud to be connected to him. I'm proud of how he's listening to God and showing up in the way of following his calling, of helping to inspire calling in others. If you want to be a guest on the podcast, if you have a retention question and you actually want to come on, we can do this thing live and hash it out.
Remember, the fastest path to growth isn't always the next new client. It's strengthening your relationships with your current ones. And if you want to be a guest to share your tip or get personalized retention advice, check the show notes for details. Thanks for listening.